Well, hello, my internet friends. Let's see. Let's get this right. No need to upset Mr. Nick Fitzgerald right off the get go. Going live again. I did not share it. I did not do any of those things. All those fancy things that we've been taught to do. But hey, everybody, thanks for joining me today. I'll give it a couple seconds. I'm supposed to check to make sure that I'm live on this little guy, and yeah, look at that. Yeah. Boom. Okay, I'm good. So, I'm good, Nick. I did it. So, hey, thanks for joining me again today on the Little Black Couch. My name is Aaron Stewart. Still loving entrepreneurship, still trying to help everybody I possibly can with entrepreneurship. And we are going to do more of that today, but let's jump right into it with the intro and we'll go from there. Took a little bit to jump back here. I think my computer's struggling a little bit today. So that could be fun. That could be a lot of fun. So, hey, just wanted to bring in yesterday for anybody who joined me, we talked a little bit about keywords and the importance of keywords, how we use keywords. And I kind of ran out of time in that even though I have been married for a couple decades, she still likes me home. So, I mean, hey, as an entrepreneur, if you can pull that off, pretty much successful. Okay, so anyway, so I wanted to jump back in. I only got about halfway through, and I was going to say super excited. I'm not necessarily super excited about doing some more of this. Does my lamp look like it's going to fall over? What's going on there? Ah, ah, ah. Boy, that was weird. It was tipping. It's like I pushed the books, and anyway, that's better. Okay, so wanted to jump into keywords and kind of finish it off, but I've got a little bit of a surprise, and this could go down as the biggest, not the biggest, but a disaster in Facebook Lives, in that I'm not totally sure how to use the software to broadcast live and make it work with a keynote presentation. I've tried to mess with it and I've tried to simulate it, and I think I know how to do it, but this could get super ugly super quickly. And the reason I want to use a keynote is we actually back in the day, and it was probably, I don't know, it was a year, maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, we put together a 21-day sort of series on SEO. And I worked up all the scripts, and I worked up all the slides, and Michael Jensen and I, my partner for Solo SEO, we put together this huge presentation where it was like a 21-day course on SEO. And anyway, I found the slides. So I'm going to throw those up. I'm going to jump kind of in where we were. And I don't want to start necessarily at the beginning. And I'm not exactly sure how this is going to go. But we're going to give it a try anyway. But before we do, I wanted to bring in Buddy. So, ta-da! So Buddy is up to date. He knows that we are working on Keywords Part 2, and I appreciate that. He keeps me right on task. So yeah, Keywords Part 2, I'm going to try to use a keynote presentation. This could be a total disaster. I have not looked at this in years. But, you know, if it's live and it's not a disaster, what's the point? If you do not have the opportunity to make a complete fool out of yourself and on live, on a Facebook Live, what's the point? What's the point of living, right? So, okay, so here it goes. I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to bring it up where we left off yesterday as I was talking about how sometimes we have sort of confiscated online terminology that's been used offline, and we've tried to make it our own. Okay, it still works, but it works very similar to the old precursor to websites, newspapers, way in the way we used to disseminate and get information out there. So we're going to, here we go. Okay, just please bear with me. I'm going to bring up my screen, and then I'm going to try to bring up the keynote. And everybody, fingers crossed, hold your breath. I hope it doesn't take that long. Here goes nothing. I'm going to bring up my screen. Okay, there I am. The screen's up, and now I'm going to hit play. Oh boy. Can we see that? Can anybody give me some sort of a something or other? You know, I'm glad I've got my phone up, because I don't even know what's going to happen here. We're going to give it the best thing. Oh, there's my screen. It comes up, so that's good. And oh no, that's not good. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. That's not good. And then I'm going to do this. And that should be good. I've got 3 screens up, folks, so please forgive me. We're trying to figure this out on the fly. Now you've got my notes, though, so that's nice. All right, so I think we're good now, right? I think that's it. Okay, so hopefully everybody can just see one screen. It's got a red line. Okay, yeah, there it is. I've got it on. Okay, so okay, Nick, I finally see one reason to have your phone on while you're doing it. That makes sense. Okay, so we're going to go into, oh dear. Well, it's not working at all. Okay, here, click. There we go. Above the fold. I don't even know how the transitions work, so we're just going to have a lot of fun with this. But this is fun, right? Okay, so I talked about above the fold yesterday, and above the fold is essentially everything that's above the fold in a newspaper. So you can see there I've got a little newspaper graphic, and then I've also got a computer there with news. Pretty good graphics, right? I did a solid job on these. I've forgotten. So everything above that red line is considered above the fold. Obviously with a newspaper we would unfold it and continue reading, and with a computer we would just scroll down and we would have the information. So it's valuable and it's important that we as online marketers make sure that we have our most important messages right above, you know what, I'm supposed to have I wonder if I drag this, no, it won't work. We are supposed to have our most important information above the fold. We want them to be able to read it without scrolling. Okay, so right there. And sometimes we do some silly things like we start showing products, we start doing stuff. We've got to make sure that we grab their attention and we keep them there and give them enough to make sure that they're interested so they scroll. Another reason we want to make sure that we do a very good job of attracting their attention when they come is if they've gone to a search engine, Yahoo, Bing, or Google, and they've put in some keywords and they found our site, right? We learned 94% still use organic search results. We humans are not buying into the paid ad deal. We still trust organic results better than we trust. We don't reward people for paying and getting ads, which I've always found so fascinating. And I want everybody pat yourself on the back, because that's the coolest thing in the world. Google doesn't need all our money, and neither does Facebook, right? So, but Google, then you can still go and click on the organic links. 94% of people still do. And then they will go to your website. They will find your website. Well, if you don't provide them with what they're looking for and they click back to Google, that doesn't look good to Google. And then Google will say, you know what, that site obviously isn't relevant to whatever this, the keyword search was, so we're going to knock them down a peg. We're going to hurt their rankings a little bit. So make sure that the information you have on this site, you don't want to try to fool Google. That we used to call it, black hat, and we used to try to fool Google with all kinds of ridiculous stuff. Fake keywords. We'd have a white screen, and then we'd put all these fake keywords that had nothing to do with us in white, so you couldn't see them, and Google wasn't smart enough to figure out that it was white. Now they are. And in fact, the Google algorithm is very hard to trick anymore, and it's a moving target, so it's not worth trying. Just play by the rules in order to get, it's 94% of the traffic, right, is still organic. So just play by the rules, play nice, and Google will rank you and put you where you need to be. But make sure that what you publish and what is in your content, and the keywords that you are choosing and the keywords that are being used to find you are actually about your business. You want to make sure that it's relevant. Okay, so that's it. So we're going to keep going here if it'll allow me to keep going. Or do I have to click I'll have to click on this. Oh, okay, so this is cool. So it looks like, okay, for example, it looks like on this particular page that we are displaying essentially where, I'm going to keep, okay, organic click distribution. Now, we talked about how 94% of those that do searches in Google click on organic results. So I've listed kind of here some of the results, and this particular one seems to be for hosting. The keyword was hosting, obviously not a long tail keyword, but it's hosting. And we can see here that 33% of the clicks go to that top spot, which is why, so this is organic. We're not talking about ads. 33% of all clicks will go to that top spot. So we talk about trying to get up there as much as we can. 17% go to that second spot, 11% to that third spot, and then 4 through 10. So we're talking about going down below the fold to the next page. You've got about 27% of all clicks there are in the top 10 on that first page. With Google adding some ads now, sometimes that goes a little bit further down the page, but still. And then if you look at page 2 and page 3, page 2 is only 8% of the clicks ever go to the next page. And why Google has a next page right now, I'll never know. If I were them, I would just have them scroll. But hey, I'm not running Google. I'll tell you, a search engine that comes up with just scrolling, that's how we like to consume our information now, folks. I'm just saying. Google, you can contact me. Just leave a comment after. I'll reach out to you. But anyway, so and then page 2 and page 3 combined only pick up about 12% of all organic clicks. Still worth getting there. I mean, we're talking about only 6% click, right? 6% click on the ads. And now you're talking 12% clicking on pages 2 and 3, and those are free. Still worth trying to rank. So everybody that tells you that keywords are out and SEO is out and all of that is not getting this thing. And it is unfortunate that ClickFunnels doesn't have a better way of really using your keywords, but we can still kind of get around that with long page sales letters, making sure that we research and put keywords in to that little SEO section that they give us. But make sure that all that's in there and take advantage of what we're given. But then there's a lot of other opportunities we can use to create content using the keywords we find to increase traffic to our site. Free traffic to our site. Okay, so hosting, oh yeah, I color these all up. Look at this. This is I'm a master. I'm a master at Keynote. It's fantastic. All right. So, okay, so the number one metric for measuring your SEO success, and that's keywords, content, links, and social media, is actually your ranking on Google. Okay, so a really good question yesterday came in from Lance asking, like, how do I get up? How do I rank higher than those folks that are up above me? And because Google's algorithm changes based on industry, you just need to look and analyze what those folks are doing above you in the rankings and do it more than they do it in order to leapfrog them and take up that traffic, right? So, going to the top of a Google Ranks page, that's 33% of the traffic. Okay, but even if you're on, the other pages, it's still super, super good to be ranked in the top 3 pages. It still will help your business. It's still free. And so why people are so bent on just paying for ads and not doing a little extra work to make sure that their site is optimized and doing well, I don't get it. So the higher you rank, the more traffic you'll get. We already talked about that. Boom. Okay. So, again, I will apologize because this was made for a 21-day series, and maybe I'll make that available sometime if people are interested in that. We can kind of keep looking at that. But really, when we talk about keywords, content, links, and about social media, we're talking about increasing rankings, and you can use all of those to increase your rankings and bring in more free traffic. And so I'm going to continue to have that discussion with you. Because I think it's one that many of us are not paying attention to, and I really worry about it. My picture is just like in the way of everything, isn't it? So I really worry about us not taking time to do the right things. So if Facebook changes their algorithm, or if Google changes their algorithm or whatever, we don't have enough free traffic coming in, then we've got a real problem going forward with our business. And we saw that. We saw a lot of businesses go out of business because Google changed their algorithm and they didn't have a really good list, is something that Russell always talks about. Make sure you're growing your email list, because that's definitely one way to go out and generate traffic to your website and to your offers. But the other way is to make sure that you're ranking well enough that new customers are out there. So you've got to always bring in new blood to keep your business growing and push people up your value ladder. And if you don't have a vehicle to do that, and they take away paid ads, or the paid ads are too expensive, now you're just constantly beating on your list to try to buy new things. Now that's better than nothing. But I think all of us would feel more comfortable if we always knew we had new people that we were bringing in and warming to our offers and getting them to move up our value ladder to purchase our stuff, right? Rather than just totally putting our whole eggs in the email list basket. It's great. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is where the money is, right? And you can do really, really well with this list for a very long time, but there is attrition. And once they get tired of listening to you or your message, or if it isn't up to date, or it doesn't stay within their interests, or they move on and they start falling off, if you don't have a way to put more people in this, right? We've just got this sort of downhill motion, this decrease in business that I've been through them. They're awful, right? When you cannot stop the free fall, it's an awful feeling. So I love this idea of making sure you have an email list. It's part of the business that I really haven't done a very good job at. We had at one point over 200,000 clients and emails for all of them, but we never really did much for our list. We would let them know when we put out a new blog post, but we never really fostered that relationship, and that was terrible. We were always worried about helping them find new people, get ranked higher and do all that, and that was the focus of our business. We really should have been focused on both, but we loved SEO, right? We loved, and I still do. I still think it's a huge opportunity. And I think it's probably more so now than ever, just because so many people have forgotten it and have gotten lazy and just pay for ads. And it's just free money sitting out there. And it's free money that's evergreen free money, right? It's just going to keep on coming as long as you keep putting out content, and as long as people are interested in the stuff that you sell and work on, that will just keep coming. So, cool stuff. All right, let's see what's next. Well, it looks like it's going to give you some homework. We're not going to worry about homework, folks. I'm not going to make you do any homework. So, anyway, I'll continue to use these slides. Let me see if I can turn this thing off now. Boom, off. Back. Oh, back. Okay, one thing I did want to show you really quickly, and I will get rid of this screen. Some people had asked too, okay, where do you find the keywords? How do you know what keywords are good? Well, there's a lot of different ways to do that. But if you go to, I'm going to bring it down. Let me see if I can get it onto this screen, and we'll bring this screen up again. That kind of works. Okay. I'm going to bring up my screen again here. Come on now. Can we see that? Is that working? That is the one problem with doing it on the, yeah, it should work. Okay, so this is, if you go to Google, if you have a Google Ads account and you go to Google, they do a great job at just allowing you to do research on your keywords. So what I did here is I just put in I put in entrepreneurship courses and entrepreneur, and then they give you all these keywords that you can look at and kind of get an idea of what's working and what's not. The things that you want to keep track of and look at when you've got in the competition. If you've got, here it goes, shows the competitive ad. I really don't worry about how, I'm not going to pay for ads, but this gives you an idea of looking at some of the keywords where there's low competition. If you use those keywords when you're writing up your sales page, or when you're thinking about even doing videos that are going to be transcribed. So if I talked a lot about, hey, this is for entrepreneurs, this is for young entrepreneurs. Now I've got young entrepreneurs and for entrepreneurs. Hey, I've got great business ideas for young entrepreneurs. And now I'm taking advantage of all these keywords. Business ideas for, what is this one? Let me make this wider. Let me see. Oh, there we go. Okay, so if you look at all this means low competition, which means you could probably still rank for these if you did a good job with your content. So if you're looking at these, hey, I've got really great company ideas for young entrepreneurs, and we are developing super cool courses for nomad entrepreneurs. Well, those are words that have very, very low competition, but you're getting some searches. The best ones, if you look at here, so I've got a lot of really great entrepreneur business ideas. Well, that's between 100 and 1,000 searches a month. That's not bad. So anyway, that's just one way to kind of look. Entrepreneur competition for entrepreneur is quite low actually, and they have 100K to 1 million searches per month. That's crazy. That's probably worth pursuing. Hey, pretend I didn't share that with you. No, just kidding. So that's a cool way to go and look at it. Solo SEO had some tools. There's some other cool keyword tools out there, but ever since Google sort of disconnected themselves from the rest of the world and made us kind of forge on our own, they give us the data and we have to assume that it's correct. There's no way to check to see if this data is correct, but we just kind of have to assume that it's correct because Google says it is, right? So, okay, keywords. Back to it. Let's see if this brings up the page. Can I come back? Folks, please. Is it not working? Am I back? Yeah, I think I'm back. Okay, so I am going to quit Safari, and maybe that will clean off my screen. It does. Perfect. Okay, so that is really all I had for today. When you think about keywords, here's some things to remember. One, make sure that you think of keywords as the modern day hashtag, right? That's all keywords ever were. And keywords are what we use to search and find things in Google. And still 94% of all of those people that are searching and clicking on things are clicking on organic or free search results. So we don't have to pay for that traffic. It's just free. And there's a lot of folks out there that are still doing a really good job at doing it. Lance's question yesterday, if you find yourself getting onto the first page, but you still got 2 or 3 competitors that you can't leapfrog, then you need to research what they're doing in their search engine optimization. So their links, content, keywords, and social media strategies, and you need to model those. Okay. And that Google's algorithm will be applied to everybody on that page the same way. That's definitely something that you can see. But then you can leapfrog those individuals by just doing more of the good things that they're doing. That's the easiest way to move up in the rankings. And that's free traffic. Okay, and the final thing is to remember, definitely build your email list. That's great. Those are people that are your tribe and you can continue to market to them. But unless you have, if Facebook changes their algorithm and changes the way they set up ads, or competition continues to go up and drive the prices up, and if Google continues to do what they're doing where their ads are somewhat expensive, just depending, if you find some good low competition ads that we just showed you there, then it can still be reasonable. But if you do a good job with those, then when everything sort of dries up and you can't afford ads anymore, you will have your email list and you will have evergreen content that's sitting out there, and whenever somebody types and searches for something that you happen to offer, they will then be driven to your site. And the more content we have out there, then the greater the chance that they will find us, the greater the chance that Google will rank us, and the greater the chance that we will have all these open doors and hooks bringing people in to our business. Okay, so it's a safety net, folks. I mean, creating content and putting it out there and optimizing it, it's a way to build your business. It's a little longer term, long view, but it's also an evergreen view. It's the gift that just keeps on giving. Content is. So make sure that you don't research your keywords, get the keywords right, create content around those keywords, make sure that you get it all published everywhere you need to get it published. Make sure you're bringing people in from all walks of life. The more people that come in and see it, the more Google's going to think you're awesome, and the higher you're going to rank and the better you're going to do for a very, very long time without paying for ads. Whew. All right, folks. Thanks for joining me again today on the Little Black Couch, where we are taking care of entrepreneurs. Want to make sure that you have all the tools possible to be creative, to be excited, to be happy, to find joy in the pursuit, and create solutions to unique problems so we can all have a better life. Till next time, Aaron Stewart from the Little Black Couch. Thanks.